YouTube channel Nos Confunden. The story of a military witness, the dark Antarctic vessel. Years have passed since that incident in the frozen waters near the Antarctic peninsula, but not a single day goes by that I don't remember it. What we experienced that night left a mark on the entire crew in ways none of us can fully explain. Some tried to forget, while others clung to rationality to keep their sanity intact. As for me, I chose to write it down. I can't provide too many details. The names I'll mention are fictitious, not because I want to hide the truth, but because I've already faced enough uncomfortable questions. Nos confunden. The only thing I can assure you is that what you're about to read is real as anything that challenges the laws of the world we know. We were aboard a military icebreaker, which I'll call the Australis II. Our mission was routine, part of the constant explorations and patrols in the far south. The cold was a constant presence, and the endless white horizon seemed eternal. I served as the navigator, and for the purpose of this story, I'll refer to myself as Joel. It all began on a particularly calm night. The wind had subsided, and the ice beneath the ship's hull groaned with an almost hypnotic rhythm. We were traversing a narrow, icy passage, a stretch that didn't allow for quick maneuvers. That's when I saw it for the first time on the radar. Nos confunden. The screen displayed a signal, a strange echo that didn't correspond to anything that should have been there. At first I thought it was a system error, something caused by the freezing temperatures or the icy conditions. I adjusted the controls, but the signal remained, moving at an alarming speed. "Captain," I said, trying to stay calm, "we have something approaching fast. It's unidentified." The captain, whom I'll call Hoffman, stepped over to the radar. He was an experienced man, seasoned by years of navigating extreme conditions, and very few things could unsettle him. Yet his face tensed as he observed the signal. "How fast is it coming?" he asked, his tone betraying a hint of concern. "Far too fast, sir," I replied. 40 knots, and it's still accelerating." "Impossible," Hoffman muttered as he grabbed the binoculars to scan the horizon. It didn't take long for him to see it. A black silhouette emerged from the dimness, completely dark except for a few yellow lights shining from within. It bore no flag, no visible identification. Its design was strange, modern and sleek, but the most disconcerting aspect was its speed and how it seemed to float over the ice, gliding effortlessly. Nos confunden. "What the hell is that?" someone behind us murmured. "Prepare for impact," Hoffman ordered. "We can't maneuver in this stretch. Everyone to their stations." The crew quickly mobilized. Some tried to keep calm, but panic began spreading as they realized the vessel was heading straight for us. "It's sailing over the ice," one of the sailors shouted from the deck. The speed of the dark vessel was overwhelming. It moved as if it wasn't bound by the laws of physics, gliding with terrifying precision. The closer it came, the more evident it became that this was no ordinary ship. Nos confunden. I was certain we wouldn't make it. I watched as some sailors leapt onto the ice in a desperate attempt to avoid the collision. Hoffman remained steady, his hands gripping the control panel. "Impact in 5 seconds!" I shouted, unsure of what else to do, but the impact never came. The dark vessel passed through the Australis II as if it were a specter, bathing the ship in a yellow glow. A deep hum filled the air, a sound so strange it seemed to resonate directly in our minds. For a moment, everything was silent, broken only by the echo of that hum. When the vessel finally moved away, disappearing over the horizon, we stood frozen, unable to comprehend what had just happened. The hull of the Australis II was intact, as if nothing had occurred. But something inside us felt irreversibly changed. Nos confunden. I can't find the words to describe what we felt that night. Some tried to look for logical explanations, a radar error, an unknown meteorological phenomenon. Others, like me, knew we had witnessed something far deeper, something not meant for humanity, as if it were some kind of rupture in reality. I can't share much more here. There are things I prefer to keep to myself, not because I don't want to share, but because I know not everyone is ready to listen. What I can say is that the vessel was not of this world, and its appearance was no accident. We returned to base shortly after, and while some tried to forget, I have not been able to. That black ship, those yellow lights, and the strange sound that seemed to carry a message still haunt my dreams. Nos confunden. That very night, after what we had experienced, I fell into a deep sleep, more from exhaustion than by choice. I was overwhelmed, trying to make sense of what had happened. But what I found in my dreams was not rest, it was an extension of the mystery. I saw myself again on the deck of the Australis II, but the sea and ice were no longer there. Instead, a dark abyss stretched out as far as the eye could see. A dense, oppressive void that seemed to swallow all sound and light. The ship floated in that emptiness, suspended in something that was neither water nor air. Suddenly, I saw figures. Emerging from the shadows, they were tall and cloaked in black robes. Their faces were hidden, but there was a presence about them, something that made me feel small and vulnerable. They weren't human, but they didn't seem entirely alien either. There was an unsettling familiarity to their existence. They spoke, but not with ordinary words. Their voices didn't come from their mouths, but resonated directly in my mind, deep and solemn, like the echo of distant thunder. Nos confunden. Joel, they said, pronouncing my name with a clarity that froze my blood. Who are you? I asked, or at least tried to. My words didn't come from my mouth, but they understood me. We are the keepers of the boundary, the watchers of what lies beyond the eternal ice, they replied, their voices blending like an ancient chorus. What do you guard? I asked, trembling. We guard that which must not be disturbed. The lands that lie beyond the ice are not for mankind. What you have seen is not yours to explore. Your presence here is an affront to the order we have protected for eons. I tried to respond, to tell them our mission was one of exploration, that we didn't know what we had encountered. But their voices interrupted me. Turn back, they said in unison. Leave this place and do not return. Those who cross this threshold without permission lose not only their way, but also their soul. Their last phrase echoed in my mind like a blow. I wanted to ask what that meant, but before I could speak, one of the figures stepped forward. It extended a shadowed hand, and in my mind appeared fleeting images. Dark seas, immense creatures, structures that defied all logic. Each vision was more disconcerting than the last, and a primal terror gripped me. This is what we protect, said the figure. This is what you must never see again. Nos confunden. I woke up with a start, my body drenched in cold sweat and my heart pounding as if I had run a marathon. It took me several seconds to realize I was in my cabin, in the safety of the Australis II. Yet the dream remained vivid in my mind, every word and every vision etched with terrifying clarity. It wasn't just a dream, I knew that with certainty. I felt that those figures had truly communicated with me, using my mind as a channel to deliver their message. Nos confunden. I couldn't ignore it. Although I had no tangible proof, I knew I had to inform Captain Hoffman. I took a piece of paper and wrote down everything I had seen and heard, trying not to omit a single detail, though words seemed inadequate to describe what I had experienced. When I reached the bridge, the captain was reviewing the instruments. He looked at me with a mix of curiosity and concern as I handed him the note. "Captain, I need you to read this," I said, my voice still trembling. He took the paper and read it silently, his expression hardening with every line. When he finished, he looked at me intently. "You dreamed this?" "Yes, but it wasn't just a dream," I replied. "I don't know how to explain it, but those figures spoke to me. They're warning us, Captain. They're saying we must turn back. What lies beyond isn't meant for us." "Nos confunden." Hoffman set the paper down on the table and crossed his arms, gazing out at the icy horizon through the window. He remained silent for a long time, and I didn't dare interrupt. Finally, he sighed and said, "We'll turn back. We're heading back to base. I won't risk my crew any further." I felt a mix of relief and fear. We had made the right decision, but something told me we hadn't seen the last of what we had found in those frozen waters. Something in Hoffman's demeanor suggested he might have had a similar dream. As soon as he read my account, he immediately decided to return. That dream still haunts me. The words of those figures and the images they showed me are etched into my mind, like scars on my soul. I can't stop wondering what might have happened if we had ignored their warning. What truly lies beyond the eternal ice? Perhaps I will never know, and maybe that's for the best.
YouTube channel Nos Confunden.